Greetings, medics. Welcome to some worked examples for the quantitative reasoning section of the UCAT test. And today we're specifically going to be looking at currency conversion and units. Hopefully, I'll show you some slick ways to handle some of these questions without the reliance of the calculator, which is fiddly to use. So, question number 1. Emily buys some dollars for a trip to New York, US dollars. Sensible. The exchange rate is given below. £1 equals $1.2. When she returns, she exchanges the unused $600 back to pounds, but the currency exchange office charges a 2% fee on the total amount in pounds. Okay, the problem is we're trying to convert our dollars back to pounds. So we're given this relationship that £1 equals $1.2. So to go from pounds to dollars, I'm timesing by 1.2. And to go from dollars to pounds, I'm dividing by 1.2. Don't really like dividing by 1.2, but let's see how I can fix this. So I need to go from $600 to pounds. So I'm going to divide by 1.2. So step number 1, 600 divided by 1.2. Now I really don't want to divide by this 1.2, but there is a trick that I can use. So if I multiply the top by 10 and the bottom by 10, I will get 6,000 over 12. Now this actually makes my life a lot easier. So what I can do is I can recognize that 12 goes into 60. So 12 goes into 60 5 times, and then what I'm left with is £500. Done. Okay, now, problem is, and there's a clause here, that the currency exchange office charges a 2% fee on the total amount in pounds. So our total amount in pounds is £500. So that is equal to my 100%. Now my 1% is just going to be, I'm going to divide both sides by 100, obvs. So 500 divided by 100 is £5. So that's 1%. So therefore 2% is going to be equal to £10. Okay, we'll put some boxes around this to make things pop and a little bit clearer so you can see the steps. Okay, so this is the fee that you have to pay. Okay, so step number 3, this is going to be equivalent to, then we get £500 back, take the fee off, which is £10, so this equals £490. So my answer is C. Okay, done. Let's move on. Okay, so question 2. A company sends employees to leadership training courses in 2 different countries, Canada and the UK. So we've got a table below which shows the cost per person for different course durations in each country. And we're given an exchange rate of £1 equaling 1.25 Canadian dollars, CAD. So how much cheaper would it be for 3 employees to attend a 2-day course in Canada? Okay, so let's find Canada in the table, and this is the cost for a 2-day course per person. But I am doing, so let's do total cost for Canada. So the total cost for Canada is going to be 1250 times by 3. Now I can do this one quite easily. So 125 times 3 is equal to 375, and just add the 0 on. So that's the total cost in Canadian dollars. Okay, so where do we go next? So what I could do next is now I can convert this Canadian dollars number into GBP. So now I know my exchange rate. So £1 buys me 1.25 CAD. So to go from pounds to CAD, we're timesing by 1.25. To go from CAD to pounds, we're dividing by 1.25. So this could be where a calculator is handy, I would say. So what we're going to do is 3750 divided by 1.25. You can do this mentally, but a bit long. So get your calculator up. We are going to do 3750 over 1.25, which gives me 3,000 pounds. Okay, cool. Done. Get rid of my calculator. So we know that cost. So the total cost for the Canadian trip in pounds is 3,000. So next what we do is we find the total cost for the UK course. And we know that 2 employees attend a 5-day course in the UK. So find the UK. 5-day course is 1850. So what we're going to do is double that. Okay, so step 3. Total cost for UK residential or whatever it is. So this is going to be 1850 times 2. Can just do it here. So 5 2s are 10, 8 2s are 16, add the 1 is 17. So remember to add the 0 on. So the total cost for the UK trip, so 1850 times 2 is going to be 3700 pounds. Okay, so how much cheaper would it cost for 3 employees to go to Canada on a 2-day course as opposed to sending 2 employees on a 5-day course in the UK? Well, this is just going to be the difference. So the difference is going to be $3,700. Take away Canada, which is 300. So it's £700 cheaper. So the answer there is E and done. Okay, question 3. We have got some traveling going on in Switzerland and Brazil. Okay, so you've got lots of information here about the exchange rates from GBP into Brazilian currency and Swiss currency. Now, we are told that the agency pays 6,000 Brazilian real for a beach resort in Brazil and 2,400 for a mountain hotel in Switzerland. Very fancy. The Brazilian hotel applies a 15% discount on the listed price. So, presumably this price, which is the listed price. Okay. However, the Swiss hotel charges a 6% international transaction fee applied to the GBP value after the conversion. Okay, nice. So this is a combo of 2 currencies with a discount and a charge or a fee. Call it what you want. So we need to work out the total amount paid in GBP after the discount and the fee are applied. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, we know that the Brazilian hotel costs 6,000 Brazilian real, but we get a 15% discount. So let's have a look. Discount. In fact, let's call this cost of Brazil. Okay, so we know it costs 6,000. So 100% is equal to 6,000. So we get a 15% discount, and we can do a little trick, okay? Because we can say that 15% is the combination of 10% and 5%. So to get 10%, we're just going to divide 100 by 10. And we're going to do 6,000 divided by 10 to give us 600. And then to work out 5%, we're going to divide the 10% by 2. That 5 looks funky. Let's fix it. And we're going to do 600 divided by 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times, so 5% is 300. So then what we're going to do is just add up. We're going to add up the 600, i.e. the 10%, and the 5% to get 15%. So we can say, so 15% equals 900 Brazilian real. So therefore, our total cost is going to be 6,000, take away 900, so we are paying 5100 BRL, BRL. Now, logical next step is let's convert this to GBP. So to go from pounds to BRL, we're timesing by 5. To go from BRL to pounds, we're dividing by 5. Okay, so shall we just short division this? 5100. So we'll just put a new heading. So now we can do cost of Brazil in GBP. So this is going to be 5100 divided by 5. So 5 goes into 5 once. 5 does not go into 1, so we're going to put a 0, carry it over. So 5 goes into 10 2 times, and 5 does not go into 0. So this is 1020, and that's my total cost in GBP. Nice. Okay, let's highlight that, make it pop a little bit. All right. So then what we're going to do, now let's have a look at the Swiss cost. So cost of Swiss hotel. Okay. Now the Swiss hotel charges a 6% international transaction fee applied to the GBP value after conversion. So we know that the Swiss resort, whatever it is, costs 2400. So let's convert that into pounds. Let's have a look at the conversion. Just going to get rid of the Brazilian one. So pounds to Swiss francs, we're timesing by 1.6. Swiss francs to pounds, we're dividing by 1.6. Okay, let's go. So we are going to do 2400 over 1.6. So I'd say this is where a calculator can come in handy. So let's all clear. Let's do 2400 over 1.6. What do we get? 1500. Hide the calculator. So this is 1500 pounds. Okay, so now we need to apply 6% of this. So 100% is equal to 1500 pounds. Let's work out what 1% is by dividing by 100 on both sides. So 1% is equal to 15. Okay, so then what we're going to do, and we'll go up here. Now, we're saying that 1% is equal to 15 pounds. So I could times by 6, but let's to chunk it a bit. So let's work out what 3% is. 3% is 45. So then we will double that to get to 6, and we double that, by the way, put a 3 there. 45 times 2 is equal to 90 pounds. So what we need to do is take our 1500, and because this is a charge, we need to add this on. So it's a charge, so we add this on. So we take 1500 plus 90. So the total cost is 1590. And we'll just highlight that as well. Okay, so what is the total amount applied? So now we're just going to add these two up. Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there. So let's say 4 is the total, and the total is going to be 1590 plus 1020 0 11 6 and 2, so 2610 is the final answer. And I will box some of this for you, especially this stuff at the bottom. Cool. Right, there we have it. Sorted. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful, and see you again for the next round of quantitative reasoning.